So, as you see, I played it many of hours, and I did it just for the purpose of the video. No, I didn't, because I had so much work to do that my own guitars often don't get the care they should get. That's why we're here. So often you see, like, from your fingers and everything, you have like a little bit of dirt on it. You can see it, and you don't have to do it. I take a razor blade, move it straight in one direction to get a bit dirt off. I mean, you see where it's like, it's coming off. That's all the dirt. That's not wood. That actually is the dirt. Just have it straight, just without pressure. Just get a bit of dirt off. And you can, we will do it not on every fret, just to show you what it looks like. I mean, if you can do it for ages, just clearing everything out. So like just the major is coming off a lot of it. So that happens over time. So that's just feel wise. Some people like to have the dirt on it. However you like, if you want like fresh feeling, or do you want to have it like one in, get a lot of skunk off. I mean, some people use steel wool, you can use the razor blade, whatever feels good to you. Or if you don't want to do it, it's completely fine. You can just bring it to luthier to get it like really cleaned up. Now we talked about the fret oil. That's just for not lacquered fretboards. If you have like a maple fretboard, sometimes they have lacquer on it. So don't use the oil on lacquered fretboards. But like on natural wood ones, like this ebony one, or like the rosewood ones, basically most commonly on like dark woods, you can say you can use these oils. Just like take a towel and put the oil on it, like in the direction of the frets, just a little bit of it. You don't have to be like super, like don't have to put a lot on. It will soak in, it will moisten the fretboard, and it gives it like a nice fresh feeling. It smells good because it's like it's like a lemon oil, so lemon smells best for me actually. So that's it. You can let it dry for a second. Just let it soak in a bit. I mean, we move on in the videos. So take your towel, just rub it a little bit. You see that the wood is like really getting darker a bit. You get like a lot of things off. You can go over the frets a bit. It will clean the frets up as well. I mean, cleaning frets is like a whole different and separate section. We have to talk about maybe in the future. We just talk about basic steps you can do when you restring. The rest is like, yeah. And you see like, it was white before. So, and the flamingos. The flamingos do all the cleaning up. You see like even the dirt gets a bit off, even if you don't use like a razor blade or something. So, and also if you like scratch a little bit of your fretboard by using some tools, it will fill up pores a little bit. So don't worry, just be careful. That's like, yeah. So
nice.
Do you do it to your guitar, Matthew?
Yeah, I do. I also use the lemon oil, but
Yeah.
I left my oil back in Australia,
Oh,
so
okay.
I haven't done it
Yeah.
since being in Germany.
Yeah.
I also like the smell of it.
Yeah, and you don't have to do like every restring. So, I mean, it depends on also the air humidity and how dry the wood feels. But I mean, you don't have to do it. You can overdo it as well. Like you don't have to have your fretboard like soaking wet all the time.
And
but it's like once every 3 to 4 months. I would recommend that.
Yeah. And that lemon oil is also cleaning some of the dirt off, right?
Yeah. So it's like cleaning a bit. Some of the like really heavy dirt, it's like maybe not getting off, but if you rub hard enough, it will. Yeah, it will get off, and it feels way better. It looks like healthier, I would say.
Yeah.
As healthy a wood could look like. Yeah.
Pretty.
So basically, that's it. Not on lacquered fretboards, but on the natural ones, and the feeling will be try yourself. Every 3 to 4 months, or if like the season changes and it feels dry, like it's you're gonna feel it. So the next thing is before we set up the rest, we have to of course get some new strings on it. So I got a pack of my favorite strings. Compared to string sizes. String sizes matter, I would say. So I always go for a bit of lighter strings because this one has a mahogany, like a more mellow sound, and I want to give it a little bit of brightness. It depends on the woods or like the character of the guitar, how it sounds, and also on your own feeling. If you want to do like a little bit of bending, if you have like, for example, small fingers, if you're starting out and you don't have the strength to pull the strings down. Western guitars often come with like 13 gauge strings, which can be like heavy for some kind of you. So you could also go for 12s or 11s. 12 and 11 means just the thickness of the high E string. That's like, string sets are always measured from the low E string to the high E string. So this one's 53 to 12. So I just basically pull them out. You have like a nice sticker you can put in the middle of your guitar if you want. Don't have to. So I see they changed up the colors. You have like sometimes like a color coding on them, which makes it super handy to restring them. And you see they come in all different coatings, in all different sizes. So I tend, there are always two together. So I lay the rest by side, take the biggest two and just fold them out. Let's see, the golden one is the biggest, so we start with U. And now it starts. So the string has the ball end, and the ball always goes into your bridge. So you take a bridge pin and put your string in like a bit, so that there's like, the string's a bit in. Then you take your pin and just pull it in until it's flush. Just a little bit of pressure. You don't have to overdo it, but a little bit of pressure with feel. And then you pull your string up a little bit, and then you will feel that the string ball touches underneath the pin, and that's it. Like that's all you have to do. You don't have to make any ties or something like. That's not necessary. Just pull them in. It's perfectly all right. So then to make restringing easier, and there's like a big misconception of how to wrap your string around the tuner. It's like the most important thing is that you have a little bit of winding left, but the string will lock itself, especially like on the lower strings with the coating on them. They will lock themselves. So you set your tuner straight. So your tuner points to the body of the guitar, that you can fill in the string straight through it. So that's it. Then you put it in the slot of the nut. Then your left hand is holding the string. You take your index finger and pull it to the first fret. So put it through, and then you take your fingers, pull it back 1 fret. That's all you need. Then you hold it down. I mean, it's like I have big hands, so it's like important to have a little bit of pressure here and keep the string down. And then you just roll it. The string always goes to the inside of the tuner, and it will lock itself. So that's basically it. And you do that for every string the same way. And it will be enough windings. You don't have to like overwind it. You don't have to do anything else. It's completely fine like it is. So, and restringing is easier because you can just take it off easy. So, I mean, that's it. You don't have to like tune it up now to the pitch. So it's pretty nice. You have 2 reps, you have a little bit of spacing left. It locks itself. It sits nice on the saddle. I mean, sometimes if like they pop out while you restring, I would recommend to replace them. Sometimes there's like super worn out, and you just replace them because they don't fit properly. So then you take your cutter you have, and you can just cut it right next to the tuner. It's like when I see people like having this the end like fiddling around, it makes me crazy because I'm just like, if it's like live and you change it live, it's okay, but like people just cut the strings off, man. It's like, it looks so goofy. It looks, I mean, so basically that's what we do. Like for all strings, you take the next one, like one more repetition, put it in, bridge pin to lock it, put your string a bit up that it sits tight in the pin. Your tuner points like straight to the hole to the body. You put it straight through. Here we go. Put it straight through. Just lock it with the left hand. Pull it back 1 fret. Down. Turn your tuner. Make sure that there's a little bit of pressure, that it doesn't slip. And that's, keep care of the end. Don't step your eyes. That's always like one fear I have, to just step my eye with a string end. I mean, it's not gonna happen, but it's like, yeah.
It's not. It wouldn't be.
And you will step your hand a couple of times, like especially like on the high E string. These are pretty, like they can be like really sharp. So that's it. You don't have to tune to pitch now. We do it later. Cut it off, or not cut it off. And go through all the strings, and see you in a second when we have all the strings on the guitar. So we have the new strings on it. Just make sure, it's important for a setup to have like new strings. You don't want to do like a proper setup with like old one and strings. They don't give you the result you want, or it's like really hard to measure because they are not as have not the same pressure like new ones. So basically, what makes the playability of the guitar? The playability of the guitar is made by the clearance the string has on the fretboard itself. So it's like pretty important. If you press down the fret you want to play, that it's like not buzzing and your string is not touching any other frets. Instead of the two it should touch to get the note you want to play. So to make that sure, your neck needs a little bit of relief. That means that your neck is like a little bit like a U. So the strings pull up here and pull up here. It's like your string is like, you can imagine the string being a bridge with a touching point here and a touching point here, and your fingers are like people walking on the bridge and putting pressure on it, and you don't want the bridge to touch like the ground or something. The water. You don't want to fall in the water. So the bridge is over like a pretty rough water, and you don't want to let the bridge completely sink in the water, that you don't like the crocodiles get you. So yeah, think as that. And how to like measure it? You can just put your finger on the first fret on the low and the high E string if you want to be correctly. Put it on the low E string on the first fret and your thumb on the very last. And then you see the string clearance. So it has a bit of clearance. There should be around, like, it depends on the construction and the manufacturer, but you can go around like between 0.25 and 0.3 millimeters between the fret, not the fretboard, the fret itself, and the string around the 8th fret. So yeah, you can measure it with a filler gauge. It's like these. You can get them at your like tool supplier. You can go 0.3, and that's the size that has to go like between the fret and the string. So it's really hard to do it by one hand. So it's basically, if your string's down, like I showed you a few seconds ago, this has to be a bit loose and go through the string and the fret. So if that's all right, your neck should be in a good position to do like the next steps. If you don't have enough clearance, like your string is touching the fret, for example, means your neck has too much tension on it. So we're gonna go and see how we can adjust that. Yeah, because there's one part in the neck. It's called the truss rod, which is basically therefore to pull against the pressure of the strings. Let's move on. So the next thing after like new strings and the bowing of the neck is just the string height, which is the space the strings have to ring. Means basically you measure it on I always measure it on the 12th fret. Just there's some rulers you can take. You can do it by feel. I mean, if you don't have a ruler like this, you can just, like as I said, you don't have to change anything if it works. Like go through the frets, and if it rings out and you like the playability of it, because it's like always a compromise between playability and yeah, just measurements or like, yeah, the setup itself. I mean, sometimes you want to have like a little bit more buzz, but a bit of lower action, that it plays better. But it should be like in a good spot where it's like good playable. There's a good playability, and it sounds good, so that the strings are not deadened out. Because if your string action is too low it can cause like a buzzing, and every buzzing kills the sound on the sustain, like how long you know it's gonna ring, and that's killing the sound. So I'm using this string action ruler, and it's basically, it has some lines on it with a string action height. It's easy to measure. Just hold the guitar in the playing position, don't have it laid down, because it's like you have some pressure points on it that can move the guitar a little bit. And take it, you have lines, just measure all through. You want to have like the lower E string a bit higher than the high E string. So this one, for example, it's around 2.5 millimeters, which is like a good height to start. Sometimes on the electric guitars, usually it's a bit lower than on the acoustic guitars. The acoustic guitars need, because of the construction side, a bit more. The strings need a bit more height to ring out and work properly. So you go through the strings. You just want to have them like evenly a little bit like going lower. So the high E string is on this guitar a little bit under 2.5 mil. So yeah, it's like you want them nice and even. You don't want to have one string standing out. So go through that. That works. But if your guitar plays good, it sounds good, just leave it as it is. Because it's like on the acoustic guitars, which have like a fixed saddle, it's like hard to like really dial in the string height itself if you are not used to it. On electric guitars with like an adjustable saddles where you can do string by string, it's way easier. But I made the experience that a lot of people like try to do a good job and just end up with like not happy result, because it takes a bit of time, and just don't rush it. I mean, it's easy to do, measure it and go by feel, but sometimes like my first setups took like 3 days maybe, and I was like really frustrated. So don't get frustrated. It's always like you can get your guitar always to good playability back, even if you like, for example, tighten the truss rod the wrong way and it makes it worse. Just go one day, just sleep a night over it, let it settle, right? Yeah, and then just move it back, and that's it. I mean, for the action, so then we have like one more part we talk about, and that's basically it. The last of the 3 steps, like we talked about, the neck adjustment, the string height, and now the intonation. So the intonation means basically that the guitar plays, you have 2 octaves on the guitar, like the notes repeat off from the 12th fret again, and you want to have it like, the intonation means basically that you play the note you want to play, and it's exactly this note up or the neck. So what we do, we just tune again to pitch, go through everything. So it should be a little bit. So that's alright. Still in tune. Perfect. So how do you intonate a guitar? Like again, on an acoustic guitar you have your fixed saddle. So the intonation is basically like the distance, or what makes the intonation is the distance between the nut and the saddle. So the 2 touching points, and the length of the string is the length of the string makes the intonation. So we play like the open note, so if your guitar is a standard tuning, you play just the open E, and then you press down on the 12th fret, and you want to look if your note is going sharp, so it's high in pitch, or if it goes flat, so it's low in pitch. And that's you can adjust that by the length of the string. I mean, on the acoustic guitar is fixed, like you have a certain scale length, that's the measurement between the nut and the saddle, and it's fixed on the acoustic guitar because there's just this one placement. I mean, you can do small adjustments, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's easy on an electric guitar where you can move the saddles. So I just wanted to show you how to measure it, or how to see if the intonation is off. So play an open string. Play the fretted one. Don't press down too hard, just gently, and see if it's a bit off. It's a bit sharp, but it's alright. I mean, yeah. It's gonna be on an acoustic guitar with like a fixed saddle. It's like really hard to really. I mean, this tune is like, it's really precise. So yeah, try to not be too hard to your guitar. On the electric ones, where you can, if you have like an adjustable saddle, if it's too sharp, you have to like increase the distance of the string. If it's too flat, you just have to shorten the string. That's basically it. These two directions. If it's too sharp, just lengthen the string, and if it's too flat, just shorten the string. So you've seen on the acoustic guitar, just if it's a little bit off, leave it. Like on stage, if you have like a perfect pitch, it could drive you crazy, but that's a whole different story. Maybe then guitar is the wrong instrument for you, because it's never perfect in tune. That's one thing. I just want to show you on the electric guitar, for example, the Strat, you have like single saddles for every string, and you can move them and lengthen the string or shorten the string. And you do it just by using this screw, and that's how you would intonate. On the acoustic guitar, you have to like reshape the saddle or make a new one, but that's like, that's not recommendable wouldn't recommend it if you haven't done it. So yeah, basically that's it. If you have adjustable saddles, you can do it by your own. On the acoustic guitar, I wouldn't recommend it. And I mean, that's basically it. A quick conclusion. So what we learned about today is all the parts of a classic acoustic guitar. We have the headstock, we have the tuners, we have the nut, which is like a touching point, important for the playability and tone of the guitar. We have, of course, the strings. We know now how to properly restring an acoustic guitar. You can use the method on electric guitars as well. You know what the neck is, what the fretboard is, the frets itself, and how the body construction works, that you have a top, a back, two side panels. You have the bracing inside that's give it the stiffness and is important to the sound. You have your bridge where the strings go in. You have your saddle, which is with the nut, the second touching point of the strings, a sound hole, and a pickup if you have one inside of your guitar. So that's construction wise. And then we talked about the care. So it's mostly important to humidify your guitar in a proper way. You want to be around like 45% of air humidity. Don't store it in the basement. It prevents a lot of like cracking, and different shrinking in the wood if you store it properly, and you don't need to do setup all over again. The next thing was a setup, like we restrung the guitar, do it with new fresh strings, bend them in, just dial them to pitch, and then you go through the 3 main steps, check the neck if it's straight with a bit of relief that the string can move. The second thing is like the string action, which is the height of the string. You want to let the string move freely, measure it between the bend the string down and measure it at the 8th fret. And the last thing was the intonation, which is the length of the string and which makes it playable and makes the notes on the fretboard sound like the note you want to play actually. So yeah, take care of your guitars, and I guess then you're ready to rock.